Hi, everybody, and welcome to this session regarding understanding the impact of your research through citations and alternative metrics. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Fabio Di Bello. I'm Customer Success Manager at Wiley, and I'm going to be taking you through the entire session today. I will just gonna talk about some housekeeping items before we actually start. This session is being recorded, and you all will receive an email within 24 hours containing the link to the recorded session, as well as the certificate of attendance for anyone who needs it. This session actually is supposed to be interactive and very practical. So we're going to be doing a lot of examples. We're going to be running most of the time online, performing some searches and showing you how you can actually maximize the visibility and the impact of your research. And I would invite all of you to use the question section in your panel to write your questions or add any comment to what I'm saying. If there is any problem with the audio, please write it, let me know. We have Rebecca, who is actually connected with me, who will follow, we monitor the questions real time, and she will let me know if there is anything in particular that needs to be addressed. Otherwise, we're going to be devoting at least 10 minutes for questions and answers at the end of my presentation, so you have an opportunity to really express all your thoughts and comments about what I'm saying. And I will be running some search examples, but if you have anything in particular you may want to search, please again let me know and write it in the question section, and I'm very happy to actually run your search for you. All right, so this is the agenda for today, and what I'm going to be doing is, I'm going to be starting with a very brief introduction to the Wiley Online Library platform, discussing contents, browsing and searching features and functionalities. And then we are going to move on to showing you some impact data analysis that we conducted into 4 years of publication data at Wiley. And this is actually showing you the impact differential between the traditional subscription-only publication and the open access publication. And starting from the conclusions derived by this analysis, we are going to deepen the topic of alt metrics, and we will understand how they are measured and how we can use them to increase visibility and impact of journal articles in general, and more in particular, using Wiley Online Library. So we will also show you how the Wiley Online Library offers you some specific services that are designed around author's need, from article writing to article promotion. We will spend most of the time online demoing Wiley Online Library. So again, I encourage you to search alongside with me and come up with alternative search suggestions which might be more relevant for your research areas. But before we actually continue, I'd like to just launch a poll, because I want to know just a little bit more about you, and I'm going to come up with a couple of questions. So the first one is, how often do you use the Wiley Online Library? Please, respond, select one of these options. This will really help me understand your level of familiarity and experience with the Wiley Online platform. I see that you're, responding. Thank you so much for responding in such big numbers. You're a pretty large number of attendance today, and that's really glad. You're coming from many different countries. 50% of you voted. I'm giving you some more time to vote. It's a great way to, break the ice and get to know each other a little bit more. Good. So I see that the majority of you have voted. I'm going to now close the poll and share the results with all of you. So these are the results. As you can see on the screen, 21% of you never used Wiley Online Library before. 27% use 2 or 3 times a year. 33% 2 or 3 times per month, and 18% use it weekly. So that's great. So we have a pretty complete representation of type of users, from most expert users who actually use it weekly to actually users who never used it before. Let me now just go to the second question for you. And so the second question is, have you ever used altmetrics for tracking and dimensions and the social media? So you can choose whether you've used it, you use it regularly, or you never used it before, or I know what altmetrics is but never used it. Great, you're voting. Thank you so much for voting. Give you some more seconds to vote. That's great. So the majority of you have voted. I'm now closing the poll and sharing the results. I'm gonna now share the results. And as you can see, 11% of you use altmetrics regularly. 67% have never used it, and 22% knows what altmetrics are but never used it. So it's also great, because this gives me an opportunity to the majority of you who have never used altmetrics to show you what altmetrics is, how to use altmetrics in Wiley Online Library platform, and how can you make the most out of it. Great. So now that we have known a little bit more about your experience, let's move on to just giving a very brief introduction on who we are. I won't spend too much time here, but just wanted to give you a little background on Wiley. We are one of the top 5 academics publishers in the world. We've been in business for over 200 years, and it started as a small family business, and there's actually still members of the Wiley family part of the company nowadays, which is really still amazing. We're well known because of the work we do with societies, researchers, and professionals, and Wiley has had the honor of publishing the work of over 450 Nobel Prize winning authors. So what is the content that you can find on the Wiley Library, Wiley Online Library? Well, the core of Wiley Online Library is our journal content published in partnership with prestigious international scholarly and professional societies. But in addition to this, we also have our journal back files. They span 3 centuries of scientific research, over 18 million pages across 900 titles, covering the complete range of scientific, technical, medical, business, humanities, and social sciences disciplines. Well, we have issues actually dating as far back as the 18th centuries. We have the online books available through Wiley. We have, handbooks, dictionaries, companions, and the landmark book series. Now, we also offer EBM, evidence-based medicine databases that are designed to aid healthcare professionals in accessing the right information at the right time. And finally, we have the chemical databases and the spectral libraries, as well as the protocols. We have over 18,000 protocols published across 18 titles in our current protocol series. So that's the the total range of content that you actually find on this is the URL. And we're going to be actually accessing the WILY Online Library live in a few minutes. Now, as you browse across the site, and we'll do that again in a few minutes, you will see that we cover a huge range of topics, from agriculture to law, from veterinary medicine to humanities. And we also include over 126 subcategories. So there is a lot of content that you can read and utilize, and this will really be able to make sure that you look up for high quality scientific content related to keywords or topics of interest to you, and this will allow you to stay up to date with what is published in your area of expertise. Now, the basic, the main features and functionalities on the platform is the basic search, which is really like Google-like search, but you have actually also the advanced search, which will allow you to combine more key terms together using the Boolean operators, and you can actually combine more searches in different fields and different metadata. So we'll also make an example on how you can do that. But you can also maximize the current awareness systems in the platform by creating your personal account. And this will allow you to save searches, create all the alerts. We have a lot of different types of alerts. We're going to be seeing all of them, from the content alerts, the citation alerts, and then finally the altmetrics alerts. Then we're going to be showing you how to access, download, share articles, browse issues, including the back file. And then we're going to be focusing also on how to submit articles and all the services that you can use, from author services to Wiley editing services, that will really assist you from writing your article to actually promoting your article once it gets published. Now, let me just recap and just show you all the types of journals that are out there. The first one is the subscription-only journals, and these are the usual ones, the one we all know. These are free to publish, so the author doesn't need to pay anything in order to publish to those journals, but readers need to have a subscription in order to read and download the full text. The open access journals are, divided into two categories: the full open access journals, or they call it gold open access journals. And these are, journals where articles are freely accessible online. But the authors must pay an article publication charge in order to publish the article. And the article publication charge can be paid via the author's institution, or via funding, or by personal credit card. And finally, the hybrid journals are basically subscription journals that allows open access publications. So articles can be published behind or outside the paywall. So we're going to be encountering all these three types of journals in WILY Online platform. Of course, depending on the type of subscription your institution has, you'll be able to access different type of contents. Well, this year, we are in 2022, it marks 11 years since the launch of Wiley's Open Access Journal program. So there's no need to say that the open access movement has grown dramatically in the world. And just, at Wiley, we now have over 450 gold open access journals today, and over 1,400 hybrid journals. So what we have noticed, of course, is that transitioning journals to open access, so from subscription only to open access, has seen huge increase significantly, and it's also seen an increase in impact factor in all journals. All journals that have flipped across varying subject disciplines. So what is also the impact differential. So this is basically the results of 4 years of publication data at Wiley. And as you can see, and you know, in the tabs here, you know, publishing open access demonstrates that articles are downloaded 3 times as much as subscription articles. They receive an average twice the citations and almost 5 times as much altmetric attention. We're going to be now spending some time on what is the altmetric attention. But as you can see, publishing open access is really a powerful way to increase visibility and increase impact of your research in the world. Bear in mind that if you decide to publish open access, your charges may be covered by your institution. So Wiley finalizes a lot of TA, TA means transformational agreements, read and publish agreements, which basically will enable authors to skip the APC. So basically publish open access free of charge. And the APC, the article publication charge, gets actually paid by the institution via a fund, okay? So we have seen also an increase in this type of contracts that Wiley finalizes with institutions all over the world. And so let's go back basically to the concept of impact. We've seen that publishing open access is a formidable way to increase citations, but also increase exposure. So I've talked about altmetrics. Let's talk now about who is saying what about your published work. So what we call it social media and other sources, systematic surveillance. Knowing who is talking about your research and what they are saying is crucial in today's increasingly online world. So ensuring your work is being accurately represented and interpreted, as well as getting to the right people at the right time, this all plays an important factor to making sure your article has got a broader impact. So with altmetrics, you can start to track this information as soon as your research is published. So meaning no waiting around for citations and the chance to engage directly with the audiences who are interested in your work. So altmetrics currently tracks all of these sources here. And where possible, we surface the original text of each mention. And in some cases, we're also able to provide demographic data on the author of the mention. So it's crucial to us that all of our data is fully auditable and that you can see not only how many people are talking about your research, but who they are and most importantly, what they are saying. Let me just specify some of the things about the sources that we track. With regard to policy documents, we track a wide range of public policy documents for mentions. So we define policy documents as any policy, guidance, or guidelines document from both a governmental and non-governmental organization. With regard to mainstream media, well, the list is currently huge. So we have over 5,000 English and non-English global news outlets. With regards to blogs, we maintain a manually curated list of over 15,000 academic and non-academic blogs. They are tracked automatically via RSS feeds. And we have Mendeley as the online reference manager, and we have Publons as the most prominent post-publication peer review forum. Then with regard to social media, let me just tell you that we track the public tweets in Twitter, quoted tweets and retweets only, but we do not track the favorites. With regard to Facebook, we track the posts on curated list of public pages only. So we don't track individual profiles, we don't track groups, and we don't track likes. Again, the Reddit, we only track original posts title only, so we don't track the comments. And then we, of course, we have the historical data, but we don't track Google Plus, LinkedIn, and Pinterest anymore. But we still have the historical data, the historical mentions. With regard to patents, we track patent citations from 9 jurisdictions around the world. And then remember that with regard to the other online sources like Wikipedia, well, Wikipedia free of charge, it's free of charge, but Web of Science, these citations are only available if you have an existing subscription with collaborative analytics. So Web of Science, as you know, is a full-fee database. It's not like Wikipedia, so you need to have the subscription in order to access, in order to visualize those mentions. Now, how can you maximize the attention score of your article? Let me give you some tips, okay? First of all, check the source is already tracked by Altmetric. And for Altmetric to be able to pick up a mention to a research output, the source of this mention must be tracked by our system. Each source, each search type has its own technicalities that can affect the tracking of the mentions. Then remember, always include links to the papers that you reference. So the best way to make sure that your post gets picked up by Altmetric is to include a direct link to a research output. So we strongly encourage you to embed the link in the body of the text instead of just as a part of a reference list at the bottom of your post. So this increases the likelihood that we'll collect the blog post and link it to the appropriate page. Now, few words on how the Altmetric attention score is calculated. Again, you will see it live in some examples, but how is it going to be calculated? Of course, the most important part of an Altmetric report is the qualitative data, but it's also useful to put attention in the context and see how some research outputs are doing relative to others. So the Altmetric attention score, and here you have the hyperlink to the algorithm, provides an indicator of the amount of attention that it has received in the entire world of media. So there is an automated algorithm, and this represents a weighted count of the amount of attention that we have picked up for a research output. Now, you would wonder, why is it weighted and not just a collection of mentions? Well, it is weighted because we want to reflect the relative reach of each type of source. So it is easy to imagine that the average newspaper story is more likely to bring attention to the research output than the average tweet. And this is reflected in the default weightings, and these are the default weightings. So you see here, of course, that what counts more are news, blogs, policy documents, patents, Wikipedia. These sources expose your journal article more than a simple tweet or Facebook post. And then you see here that as you go down in the list, you will see that there are like Pinterest or Stack or YouTube that really weights 0.25. Okay, so we combine mentions, but we weight them because we want to give a realistic and significant score on how much real interest and exposure the journal has had in the world. Now we have seen, how the altmetrics is built up. We've seen how we track all dimensions. We'll see. Let me show you how Wiley online library can help you as an author to maximize your success, both in publishing the articles and in promoting your article. So we have two types of services. The first one is author services, and you see here the URL, and this is for free. And what we do here is we support you from, finding the right journal for your research, up to, getting your manuscript prepared for submission. Okay, so we'll just assist you in case you want to publish your article open access, and finally we'll give you some tips on how to promote your article. This is all for free. If you want to actually benefit of professional high quality services, but these are for free, so you have to pay for them, we have Wiley editing services. And these services really are divided into two categories. The first one is article preparation services. So we have expert help that ensure your manuscript is ready for submission. So this means we assist you with comprehensive editing, translation, formatting, design services, that all these allow you to save time and will of course maximize the likelihood that your work will be accepted for publication. And then we also have the article promotion services, which really try to help you extend the reach and the impact of your research. So what we do is we help you prepare professional video design and writing services to create shareable video, abstracts, infographics, conference posters, create research news stories that really get your work the attention that it deserves, okay? And once again, we'll see online how to actually connect and benefit of these additional services. We have, of course, the Customer Success Hub, which, it's a hub where you can find all you need to know about, how to use our products, how to grow your expertise. And so if you're interested in further trainings, these are the links that you can use to basically access and register for free trainings, free webinars. One thing I forgot to mention is that you can download this presentation in the hands-out section in your panel. So there's don't worry if you have missed out something. But now I wanna, first of all, I wanna break for a few seconds and check with Rebecca if there is any question from the audience. So Rebecca, before we actually move into the live demo, I wanna just check with you if there is any specific question.
Hi Fabio, yes, so we've got a question, why are some APCs more expensive and some less expensive?
Right, this really depends on the journal, on the editorial board and the publisher. So there is no real model that I can provide you that explains the price differential. I can only tell you that Wiley, APC spans from $2,500 to $3,500, depending really on the journal. But thank you for the question.
And another question, where can we check the details of the altmetric sources of information?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And we are going to be showing it now. because what I'm going to be doing right now is connect to the internet, and actually you should be able to see the Wiley Online Library landing page. Can you see it? Can you confirm, Rebecca?
Yes, that's right.
Excellent. So yeah, we're going to be seeing the details of all the sources tracked by Altmetrics, and also the details on how the algorithm is created. But before we do that, just let me go through the features and functionalities of the Wiley Online platform. Let me give you an overview of what you can do, both in terms of searching modes and in terms of Altmetrics. All right, so that's the landing page. And the first thing I wanted to show you is how to browse the concept, the content using subjects. Okay, so you see here all the subjects, and if you want to expand on a subject, for instance, medicine, if you click on the arrow, you can expand medicine and visualize the subtopics of medicine. So if we click on, for instance, oncology and radiotherapy, we visualize all the most recent articles that fall into this category, into oncology and radiotherapy. You can see here the list of the articles. You can see that there is a padlock icon that has different colors. So for instance, this article is open access. This title is also open access, but they're all open access right now. But if we go to most cited, you will see here these are the most cited articles. And again, here we're going to be seeing also what it means most cited, both in terms of traditional citations and Altmetrics. You see here that we have free access. So we can have three different types of icons: free access, full access, and open access. So free access means that the article has been published in a subscription-only journals, but the publisher has decided to make the article free to read. Okay, but the original, the journal is for free, only for subscribers. Open access means that the journal is open access, so readers mustn't pay anything. They don't need to pay anything for downloading the article, but the author must pay an article publication charge. Full access means that the journal is a subscription-only journal, but you have a subscription. Your institution has a subscription, so you'll be able to actually open up and download the full text. Let's open the first one, for instance, the most cited article in oncology and radiotherapy at Wiley. We click on the link on the title, we open up the journal record. So you see here the title, you see here the authors, the DOI, and you'll be able to actually see the sections of the article. And so you can actually go straight into the section you're interested in. You'll be able to see the PDF because you have full access. And then you can do a lot of things. You see here the tools and share. If you click on tools, it will allow you to basically do a lot of things, like, for instance, request permission in case you want to utilize part of this journal for your presentations or for a paper that you're writing. You can export a citation and again copy and paste the citation. You can add it to favorite, or you can track citation. But let me just tell you something very important that actually I forgot to tell you right at the beginning. In order to save searches, track citations, you need to log in, create your personal profile. You see here, my name is Fabio. Of course, I am actually logged in now in Wiley as Fabio. So what I would invite you to do is when you log into Wiley Online Library. If you haven't done it before, here click on register or login, register. So if you haven't registered before, you click on register, you fill in the form with your personal information so you can create your personal profile, and this will allow you to save searches, create your own alerts. So one thing that I want to do, for instance, using tools is track citation. And if I do that, I will now land on my personal account. You know, it's asking me to log in. So I need to log in. All right, so here I am into my personal account, and you see here all my citation alerts. Okay, so what is citation alert? It means that every time an article cites another article that is of interest to me, I will get notified. I will get an alert, and so therefore I can intervene, you know, by just seeing what the article has said and how the article has mentioned or has cited my article. You see here in my personal account, you have manage alerts. So you have new content alerts, which actually are journal alerts. So these are the journals I'm following. So every time there is a new article being published in one of these journals, I'll be notified by email. And lastly, saved searches. You will see here all my saved searches. In this case, I still don't have any saved searches, but we'll do an example later on. So I will envisage you to create your personal profile. The personal profile will also enable you to log in remotely and access the full text content of your subscribed journals, even without being in the VPN connection. You can share this article using Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, okay? And now let's see what you can do using the right-hand side panel. So this panel here, you see here, this icon is related. So we'll just show you the list of all highly related journal articles that are highly connected to this one here in particular. Then the references, and here you see that every reference has an hyperlink, not only, has an hyperlink to the external databases where the journal is being indexed. And again, so if you want to open up the original record in the external database, like in this case for PubMed, Web of Science, you can easily do that. You can do the same for CAS, but there are some external databases that requires a subscription. So you can open up the Web of Science or CAS record only if your institution has a subscription to it. Well, you can import the figures, and you can see that every figure can be imported in PowerPoint format. And when you do that, you also include the citation. So you just need to click on the PowerPoint, open it up, copy and paste, and include it in your PowerPoint presentation. Finally, you will see this icon, information. If you click on information, you'll see here the keywords, you'll see here this metrics. So you see here the number of citations, and you see here the altmetric score. So if you mouse over, you will see all the details. And if you click on the button, you open up the altmetric score and the altmetric page within the Wiley Online Library, which will show you the demographics, will show you all dimensions that this article has attracted. So you see here, starting from Twitter demographics, the data shows you where this article has been tweeted, by whom, So you see here geographical breakdown by country, and you also see here demographic breakdown by type of people, the type of person who have mentioned this article. You can see the monthly readers. You see all the mentions, in monthly readers. And of course, if you want to be if you want to see the associated monthly record, you can just click on the link. And you can see here the attention score in context. You remember I showed you before, that's the algorithm that generates this score here. This score is 2,408. And so, as you can see here, this is the high-level measure of the quality and the quantity of online attention that this article has received. You see here that in this specific case, this article is in the top 5% of all research outputs ever tracked by Altmetric. And if you want to know the details, if you click on the link, you'll be able to have further information. You see here that all the mentions are broken down by source. So you see here, for instance, the news. Remember, the news weighed 8 times more than Facebook or Twitter mentions. So you see here where, in which news this article appeared. And of course, you can click on the actual news and open up the news in the local platform. The blogs, same thing for the blogs. The policy documents. So you see here which authorities have elaborated a guideline, for instance, using this specific article. And again, the Twitter, so you can actually really enter the Twitter accounts, for instance, and make sure you can get in contact with Mike Bishvan on Twitter. And what you can do is answer or create a comment on his tweet so that your article gets more attention. The more comments, of course, and the more likelihood it is that someone sees your content and replies. So these are the usual tricks that people who use social media like Facebook, Twitter, they all know about this. And again, if you click on more, you can also see the videos. For instance, we track YouTube, so we make sure that if there is a video which mentions an article, well, we're going to be able to show it. So again, here you will see the traditional citations, and here there's a link to the dimensions and all the social media where an article is being monitored for mentions. We go back to summary. You see here, first of all, you can actually view the record on the publisher site. And here, this button, alert me when new mentions happen. So if you click on here, you will be able to set up a personal email address. So in this case, I am just gonna, in my personal email address, and click on the button Start Notifying Me. You see here a message of acknowledgement. So from now on, I'll be notified as soon as someone on Facebook, on Wikipedia, on the patent side, and on all the sources cite this article. And if I know it straight away, I can get in contact with the person who has mentioned me or the source that has mentioned me. I can reply, I can interact with the people, I can contribute to increasing the visibility of this article. Okay, so I think it's very, very powerful way to, make sure that, or, you can go to, Twitter or Facebook and share the link on Facebook on the pages that you believe are more visible, with a higher level of followers, and publish a link with your articles, and again try to increase attention and visibility of this post. All right, now let's go back to the article level. We've seen now the altmetrics. At the journal level, we're nearly running out of time. There's a lot of things to say. We were here at this level. So this is the single article within a journal. We have seen all these buttons here, and we have seen all these tab menu functions here. What you can do now is click on the journal. So if you click on the journal, you actually open up the entire journal. So you see here, that's the journal, and that's a menu which will allow you to do a lot of useful things. First of all, if you click on About, you'll be able to actually open up the overview, which contains the aims and the scope of the journal. Why it's so important to actually, open up the, it's having problem, okay. Because you see, if you are about to publish an article and you want to submit your article to this journal, you must make sure that the aim and the scope of your article matches the aims and the scope of the journal. So you don't want to run the risk that your high quality research work gets rejected simply because it doesn't match the aims and the scope. Another thing you can do, at the journal level, is click on contribute, and that's something really, really important, is author guidelines. If you intend to submit the manuscript to the journal, make sure that you follow the policy, the guidelines that are required to be followed by the journal. And once again, Wiley can help you do that using Wiley author services and Wiley editing services. What we can do is actually make sure that your articles is formatted the way it should be formatted, following the policy, the guidelines that are specific to the journals. And then here, of course, you can browse either the current issue, or you can browse the entire archive of the journal. And you see here on the left-hand side, you have the issue archive, and you can see here we have access to the full back file from volume 1, issue 1. This one in particular is 1950. And once again, if you want to be notified anytime there is a new article in this journal, you can click on Get Content Alert. As we have seen before, you land to your account page with all of your alerts, both the content alerts and the citation alerts, and you can easily manage the alerts. Or you can click on Submit an Article, and again, you will land to Author Services webpage, which will allow you to manage all of your submitted articles. Now, let's go back to a Wiley Online platform, and I want to just show you very quickly the searching functionalities on the Wiley Online Library. Well, the basic search is quite self-explanatory. You can click on term as you would, but in Google. But here we have an automatic search suggestion that will help you identify the best search term for your query. So you see here, the system suggests you that you want to search the terms in everywhere, in every field, or you want to search for a specific book, or you want to search for an article. If you click on just artificial intelligence, it searches all the field, the title, the abstracts, the full text. And of course, you get the results. And the results are broken down by type. So you can see here the articles and chapters, the publications and the collections. And you have here the filters on the left-hand side, which would allow you to narrow down your search results and identify the results that are relevant to your search. So you can use the publication date, you can use the subject. What you see here, open access status, these filters will allow you just to show you what content is open access. So therefore, what content can be accessed without having a subscription. And again, here you can export citations. We have different formats. You can export more than one citation in one go. And this is what happens. You can export in different formats. And you can choose, the format that is more appropriate for you, and then click on export. You can save the search here, and then, run it whenever you need to. You can change the sorting. You see here, by default, the results are sorted by relevance, but you can change the default to the date. And let me remind you that if you want to carry out a more precise search, you can add the brackets. And if you add the brackets, it means that the search is artificial intelligence just side by side. So the two terms must be consequential. And so you can see that as a result, you will see that the number of results go down dramatically. And what you can also do, if you go back to the searching mode, you can use the advanced search, which will allow you to combine more search terms using the Boolean operators here. Remember that when you use the Boolean operators, they must be in capital letter, so and, or not. So you can actually create a more complex search by just artificial intelligence. You can combine it with or machine learning, and you can also can combine it with not supervised. So you're basically excluding all the studies that are talking about supervised learning. You can also, for instance, define where you want to search your key terms. So for instance, you can also search for author affiliations, for instance, and I don't know, just key in China. So you want to now intercept all the studies regarding artificial intelligence or machine learning, but not supervised learning, and whose author's affiliation is located in China. So this is an example of a more complex search. And you see here the results. And once again, you will see here the icon, whether the article is full text. You can narrow down by using the filters on the left-hand side, and work on refining the search results. Well, we are nearly over. There's just 5 minutes left. I hope this session was useful. I want to now check with Rebecca. Rebecca, if you're there, I just want to make sure. Let's start the Q&A session. So please, if you have any question or request any further clarification, that's the right time. You want to wrap up and conclude this session by some takeaway items, so that when you go back to your work, you have taken home something useful to you.
There aren't any further questions at the moment, Fabio.
Thank you so much. Well, if there are no further questions on this section, there are 4 minutes left. And I just want to show you what are the services that are really useful that Wiley offers to authors that can help them maximize the success in publication. So one is the Wiley editing services, and one is the Wiley author services. So with regard to Wiley editing services, we just go to Wiley editing services. So, as I showed you before, Wiley editing services, which is an additional service to Wiley Online Library, will allow you to use benefit of all the services, from article preparation services to article promotion services. It's very easy to use. For instance, if you want to create a video for your article, or create a conference poster, you can just click on the service and you land on the web page of the service, and then place the order. If you click on place the order, you'll see here the pricing and the type of service. Okay, so you see here all the activities that are included, where it's going to be posted, so you can see what is that you're paying and what is the outcome. Where is your article being exposed, on which channel? Okay, and then you can simply place the order by using a fund that you may have, or using any payment forms that is normally currently accepted. And the same thing, for language editing or academic translation. If you need any support in editing, you'll be able to just select the plan. You will see here that, of course, the price is a function of the number of words contained into your work. Okay, so if you move on with the sliding of the words, you'll see here the price for a document from 1,500 to 3,500 words. And of course, there are different levels of editing. The most advanced one, the premium one, which is also the most expensive, and these are the activities that are included in the premium editing. There are some statistical data that shows that authors who have used Wiley editing services have higher acceptance rates, publication acceptance rate, compared to people who have never benefited or are not using any assistance. So once again, if you are interested in exploring the services that are available on Wiley editing services, that's the link, wileyeditingservices.com. And if you just want to log in to Wiley author services, you can see this is for free. And by the way, all of you must, log in with the personal credential whenever you want to submit an article to any Wiley journal. You must log in. So once again, you see here all the type of support that we provide for free to authors when they are preparing their article, from finding a journal, preparing the journal, submitting the journal, licensing. Then we support you with the open access if you intend to publish the article open access. And then we finally give you some tips to promote your article once it gets published. Okay. So I'll give you some more time to come up with questions before we terminate the session. If you have any question after my presentation, you're very welcome to send me an email to the email address you'll see in the screen, ftballo@wiley.com. I'll be more than happy to follow up. And so, Rebecca, if there are no further questions, I'll be happy to salute everyone. Of course, thanking all of you for your attention. I hope this session was useful. I hope to see you again during our forthcoming scheduled webinar sessions. I wish all of you good success with your research, your publications, and have a nice day. So, Rebecca, thank you so much for your support. I think you can terminate the session.